light the beam, because it's time for Nerdy for 30, podcast where we talk about nerdy-ish movies for 30-ish minutes. My name is Kevin Bauer, a.k.a. The Critic's Choice. With me, as always, the people's champ, Tim Keck.
Yeah, buddy.
And today, we have a very special guest. We should have had her on a long time ago, but God damn it, she's here now, talking about one of her favorite movies. She is an artist and a friend. It's MK Doherty.
Hello.
Yay.
I'm so excited.
MK, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, you guys. I love this half-hour concept. It's so relaxing.
Oh, that's the
Thank
thing,
you.
you know? You do the pod, you have time to go about your day.
Totally. And it's not like one of those things where all day you think about the phone call you have later on, you know? I was just like, this is just a chill hang, half an hour hang.
Yeah, our main goal with the podcast is to not take up too much of anyone's time.
You took up no space in my brain whatsoever.
As small a commitment as possible.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that is the goal. But something that I hear takes up a lot of space in your brain is the movie Alien.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, it was quite a time to rewatch. It's one of those, like, I think I saw it when I was at the appropriate age of like 6 for the first time. And it was with a bunch of people. I was trying to be impressive at a slumber party, and I was just like, oh, I love this. But I also was like, this is seriously the most terrifying thing I've ever witnessed. And since then, I realized while rewatching it, I have seen so much more of the like aliens and everything that's come after than the original. So watching this, which I watched last night again, almost as frightening as when I was 6 years old.
Yeah, it's truly incredible. It holds up so
It
well.
really is.
There were so many times where I was watching it with Lauren, and like there were so many times where I'm so used to the movie, I'm just like taking it all in. But she would be like actually doing the jumps for jump scares, and she'd like be recoiling into the couch, feeling the tension of like the captain going down the stairs with the flamethrower and the things right behind him. It's incredible.
Yeah, it really is like, you know where it should be. Even if you haven't seen it before, I think you can like tell, especially with like the sound. Like the sound design on this movie is one of the most terrifying ones I've ever seen. Like if there's no tonality at all, then there's a heartbeat. Like that's psychotic. So in every way, you know something's about to happen. Always, which is forced. And the best.
Gotta know something's gonna happen. I agree. I feel like the horror aspect of it didn't really resonate with me until like halfway through. I was like, oh yeah, this is a horror movie. And then it's like, oh yeah, they're all like peeking around corridors. The flamethrower thing I found very confusing. Because they're like, because his goal is to find the alien and flamethrower him. But then someone's like, oh my God, he's heading right towards you. Get out of there. And I'm like, wait a minute. But wasn't the whole point to find this alien? And you're like in a good spot. You can fire blast him. And then he runs into the alien because he's going down a ladder and then he gets eaten, presumably.
I think that was a real time to prove that they didn't know that the alien could go up and down.
They thought it was a horizontal alien only.
Exactly. Yeah.
The vertical aspect of alien was.
Yeah, they were just like stuck in their human minds, gravity wise. And they were like, what? A big thing like that is going to go up or down. Or maybe they didn't know it could climb ladders. I thought the same thing. I was like, then flame everywhere around you.
Flame the whole thing constantly. Just flame it.
It's kind of wild. So like, it's the future, so it's plausible that maybe they found a different way to do this. But isn't a space shuttle or like a space station typically like a very oxygen-rich environment? Like exactly where you wouldn't want an open flame?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that does sound right.
Definitely sounds right.
Mind, I was like, flames in space? I don't think so. Why? I don't know. But they definitely, I mean, it was maybe for the effect alone or because it had already been presented by Ash that there was no way to kill it. So maybe in our human pea brains, we'd be like, well, fire has to.
Sure. That is a really good point. They didn't really know. So they could have just been lighting this thing on fire, but it stays fully alive. It's just now also on fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we'll never know. I don't think
never know.
No one lights it on fire. The whole time I'm like, we'll never find out about this. At one point, I just left this movie with so many more questions that I went in with it, because there's some point where Ripley has the flamethrower and I guess she's running from the alien, and then there's fire chasing her down the hallway. And I'm like, oh shit, does the alien also have a flamethrower?
Oh my God.
Like, what is going on? And I don't know. It wasn't answered, but it's confusing. This is a confusing movie to me.
That moment in particular, but do you think that the alien was?
She has the cat. Fire? She has the flamethrower. She's getting onto the spaceship, and then the alien's there. So she leaves. She's getting on the shuttle. So she leaves the shuttle. She crosses this room. She's got the flamethrower. She's got the cat, and the alien's chasing her. I don't know why she couldn't get on the shuttle. She just wanted to go run through the halls some more. Also, she needed this coolant, and then she didn't. There's so many holes in this thing.
Totally. I noticed that. I was
a hole poking fiend. I was a GD hole punch going through this movie.
Was I, and Matt just kept being like, don't. And I was like, if there are holes, I'm gonna actually actively want answers. And he was like, it's the film. Just let it be in the present. And I was like, no. I'm being radicalized as we speak. But also, I guess it depends on what version you watch, because a lot of my questions were answered in like the stuff that they cut, and I think might have ended up in the director's cut, because I watched the theatrical one.
Oh shit! I think I also watched theatrical. Wow.
You gotta.
Yeah.
That's the finest way to do it. But I had a lot of questions. Like, I just figured I didn't realize that the way it would be shot is like, I think the first guy who gets killed, Bert.
Yeah, one of those.
Let's go with Bert.
It's Brett.
The room with chains for no reason. Chains and water for no reason.
Room. Yeah, what's up with the waterfall?
Room. You gotta keep your chains wet. What are you talking about? What's up with the waterfall? You gotta have a chain room and the chains are dry.
They have a wet chain room? Sorry, but I'm more of a dry chain room kind of guy.
I mean, dry chains, that's one thing.
Yeah, dry chains are one.
There are aspects of the ship that just look like a 9 Inch Nails music video. Like,
yes. Yeah, absolutely. And when that room happened, I was like, so this is a slaughterhouse. And then it also is like in your survival instincts, would you really, the thing's out there, and yeah, you're looking for a cat, but the thing is also out there. Are you going to like shower for a second? Like, why was he just doing that? And where'd the water come from? That must be like a cooling leaking.
Is that the coolant she was looking for?
Is that the coolant? I think it's the coolant liquid she found.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. That's the whole thing. Like, we didn't realize that was the through line the whole time, is coolant.
Yeah. Well, this is a lot about coolant, this movie.
Do we know what they were mining for in space? Is it possible they were mining coolant?
It said it in the beginning, and I wrote it down in all caps. Or. Yeah.
Whoa.
I know.
They're going after ore.
Yeah, classic.
Space ore.
Not really. I was like, when's the last time we did that? Do we do that now? What does ore do? Do they mean orc?
Orc? They're mining orcs. It's a slave trade. These guys are fucked up.
Good luck trying to corral those guys.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that the protagonists are fucked up, Tim, because I think probably my biggest hole with this movie, and I would say my biggest beef with it, is the alien is really not the enemy here. Like, the alien, the xenomorph, it's an animal, you know? It's a tiger that happened to get onto a boat. But, like, that's not the tiger's fault. So, like, you know, we're all hunting this animal, this poor animal that just happened to get here and is doing what animals do. Meanwhile, the real fucking enemy of this thing is the goddamn corporation. And
it's capitalism.
Yeah.
Capitalism is the enemy. As always.
And that robot filled with milk.
Milkbot.
Milkbot. He also was in one of the initial scenes. He was drinking milk.
Gotta refuel.
I was like, ew.
That's his coolant. Again, a running theme in it.
Yeah, his coolant is different from our coolant.
Yeah, he's a robot. He drinks milk coolant.
Yeah, ours is in canisters. His is in cows.
Yeah.
Goddamn Mike Pence robot drinking milk.
You're right,
that's
though.
so true.
He is the bad guy. The alien, I've heard, is traditionally an herbivore. But because, the robot captured it, it was like freaking out and, again, doing what animals do and just trying to survive and get by. I think the whole time it was asking for help.
For a salad.
Yeah, he was looking for a salad. He just assumed there was salad inside each of these people.
Totally. He's like, these must be Ziploc bags moving around, and my salad must be inside. And he also was just born, so he's starving.
Yeah, and he doesn't know anything. He's a dumb little kid.
Mm-hmm.
He was ripped out of a guy's chest and grew 8 feet.
His birth story is so horrendous. He's just traumatized. He's wandering around looking for salad and someone to listen to him. He's vulnerable.
Doesn't find either.
Lighting stuff on fire. What'd you say, Kevin?
It says he's looking for a salad and someone to listen to him. Doesn't find either.
Doesn't find either. No.
Kale in an ear would have ended this movie fast.
Do you think there should have been a little bit more time in between when the alien was the little tiny chestburster alien and when it was 8 fucking feet tall?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that too. He really grew fast.
Yeah. There was no if he got that big after eating a bunch of other people, I get it. There's mass being consumed. They can use that mass to add mass to themselves. But so far, it's just got real big out of nowhere.
I know. Well, I was interested in how much, there must be so much backstory and lore around. I mean, Tim just mentioned the herbivores. Who knew that?
I didn't.
He knows it. That's a fact he looked up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's just so much, and it's you can take the movie in one way and then do so. I think there's worlds of research and story building outside of it. But yeah, I guess they're the equivalent of what else, a lot of other animals are just oops, I was born and now I'm running around and doing my best.
Oh, for sure.
I think so.
One of those.
Giraffes and stuff. I know for
I was just going to say giraffes.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
They run right away.
Prime example of that.
Prime example. Giraffes.
Giraffes. We should all want to be more like them.
The mighty giraffe.
Yeah, exactly. I got distracted by Chains and Water earlier, but one of my bigger issues was, and not an issue, it's not something that I crave to see, but I was intrigued by the fact that they left out a lot of potential moments for gore. When it's the 4 main kills, you really don't see too much. And most of the time, it's just a close up of the little thing inside its mouth punching him.
Yeah.
And it's there could be, I don't know, maybe that's cut stuff that you can watch in a different. I saw a couple scenes that were a lot more expositional. If you watch the cut stuff, the extras, it has a scene where Dallas and Brad are in an egg wall. So Ripley found where the alien had created the same environment where they found it.
Whoa.
I know, isn't that insane?
That's very cool.
There's so much more going on. And then I guess Ridley Scott was this is too busy.
That would have been busy.
Yeah. Oops, my movie's busy.
Oh, that's such a good point.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting how it's he really doesn't lean into the gore that much, even though that's definitely how we associate it.
It's kind of like Jaws in space, where the shark looks great until it doesn't. And they're you're just getting little tastes of the alien the whole time. And I'm okay, one of these days I'm going to see, there's that thing coming out of its mouth. And I think if I didn't already know that there was a thing that came out of its mouth, I would be very confused, watching this for the first time. Like, what is this? What is happening? I want to see this alien chow down on people. And the only time we finally get to see the alien, it looks so shitty just falling out the back of this spaceship, or it's taking a nap, like curled up in the wall.
It really was.
Like a bodega cat. And then it's ripped out of the spaceship and just kind of falls like one of those goats getting ripped off a mountain by like a golden eagle. You ever seen that? Where they just go stiff and they just like fall. They look like tables like falling off the side of the mountain. This guy just looked like a little cardboard cutout, just like flopping in the after. And then I guess he crawled in the engine and burned apart, which was exciting. And then Ripley took a nap. So, I mean, great movie overall.
Yeah, love it. Also, so happy to have this insight on your like YouTube searches. Must be like goats ripped off the sides of mountains.
It's
that
incredible.
Sounds like a really accurate description. I was shocked that the alien was napping. That's like, I guess that's when we're like, okay, so they have to sleep. And why would it go in there to sleep?
That's what, does he understand? I'm also saying I assumed it was a he. I don't know. I shouldn't have done that.
Really?
Does it, the alien, understand? You know what? I'll say she. We should come up with a name for the alien.
Barbara.
Molly Barbara. So Molly Barbara is. Does Molly Barbara understand that the shuttle is being used for the humans to get away? Because the ship is gigantic, and then Molly Barbara chooses to sleep on the shuttle.
Yeah.
So does she understand what's going on and she's capitalizing on it? Or did she just chase Ripley there and then just hung out, I guess? How'd she even get there?
Well, yeah, I feel like Molly Barbara was in like sincere pursuit of Ripley and then landed up in the shuttle to get Ripley. So then when Molly Barbara was sleeping, I was like, that's the dumbest move you could ever have made. You're there. You almost accomplished everything you wanted. Go to sleep.
Molly Barbara is like a tired detective, just like falling asleep during she's
on a stakeout.
Yeah, she's on a stakeout.
She's where it's all gonna go down, and she just cannot stay awake. She accidentally got decaf from the corner store.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and she hasn't eaten.
Of course not. She's
in
not
like
taking
5
care
minutes
of herself. She can't find a salad in one of these people.
No salad. None of her smoothies that she loves.
No Aki bowls.
Her blood sugar is so low, and women.
Oh, do I? I do.
I'm not biting.
They freak out. They're always like, I'm going to lose it or I'm going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's what Molly did. Molly Barbara
did. Yeah.
Do you think it's hyphenated or we just have to say both names?
I think it's both. I think it's a little Southern. I think of her as a sweet little Southern belle, Molly Barbara.
Yeah, I like it. Because it's Southern, but Barbara wouldn't be. So they're different.
No. It is. It's a sweet Southern little gal who is going to become a secretary. I think that's like, what else? What's Barbara? What occupation does a Barbara have?
Honestly, I was straight up Streisand. So Barbara.
Oh, Molly Barbara on Broadway.
Yeah, Barbara's on Broadway. Molly Barbara is doing a solo show on Off-Broadway about a typist who dreams of eating a salad on a ship.
Molly Barbara's take on Working Girl.
Yes. Sigourney Weaver tied in.
Yes. Bam. Coolant in there somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. Wait, can we talk more about the coolant?
Yes, please.
Yes.
When I forget her name. And I don't want to call her. No, the other one.
Lambert.
Oh, Lady Blue Eyes.
Yes. Did you say Lambert, Tim?
Lambert.
So she's like doing a good job. You can tell she's like losing it the whole time, which I would too. That's incredibly fair. Also, maybe this is the time to follow your natural fear instincts and do what the other guys are saying, the blue collar workers, where they're just like, let's not follow an SOS. Let's go home. They're always on the right track. She's freaking out. And then when they go to get the coolant for whatever reason, because it's unnecessary, she is clanking so much, clanking.
Mm.
And I was like, isn't now more than ever the time to be quiet? But she's
100%.
pulling him, throwing him.
Yeah.
Nobody
And
did
there's
anything right.
there's no instability concerns with this coolant either. There's like no chance of it getting bumped and exploding. This is like just a boring ass. These are basically loading up water bottles into into a cooler, like glass Coca-Cola bottles into this cooler to load onto the shuttle. And then I don't think they ever get them, and it's okay.
No, they definitely don't, because I was like, oh, Ripley's gonna have to carry all of those important cylinders of coolant. She doesn't. She doesn't do that. And you know what? I bet they were Diet Coke. That's very Molly Barbara.
Oh,
Molly Barbara.
So Molly Barbara
does enjoy a diet. She treats herself to a diet.
That's why she's on that little escape pod. She thinks that's where all the Diet Coke's going to be.
I cannot wait for all of my soda to arrive.
She puts a little creamer in it like the Mormons do.
Creamer. Oh, my God.
Molly Barbara's Mormon. I think we all know that.
Oh, that is such a good point. Well, she's
out in Utah.
She's raised Mormon.
She's raised Mormon, but she's questioning things now that she's in the big city.
Yeah, absolutely. Her
Kevin, did you have
told her to question everything?
The first mother taught her to hope. The second mother taught her to dream. The third mother taught her how to clean up around the house.
Are we just doing the musical 6, but with like Mormon mothers?
Well, someone has to make it. Might as well be us, because we're all Mormon as well.
That's true.
Yes,
that's why we're allowed to joke about it.
Yeah, it's personal.
It's the only reason.
Yeah.
We do get a lot of downloads in Utah.
Yeah.
Kevin, did you have like a big question from this?
You know, I did have I had a question for the two of you as to like what, so obviously the sequel for this one, Aliens, they just go full action movie and have James Cameron take over the franchise, and it's Sigourney, and she's back, and she's gunning down all of these innocent animals.
These innocent vegetarians.
These innocent herbivores. My question for both of you was basically like, shouldn't the sequel of this movie been Sigourney, like Ripley, going after the fucking company? Like,
ooh.
Where would you have taken this? Where would you have taken a sequel from this? Or would you have even done a sequel to this? Would you have just left it?
Great question.
I think my sequel would have been like 2 parts, you know? Like 6 hour, like an epic, or maybe like an HBO miniseries where it's like 10 different hour-long episodes. Mm-hmm. And it's just Sigourney Weaver sleeping in cryostasis. And then the last episode, someone finds her and is like, what the fuck's going on here? And she gets up, and then the final episode, she's just describing what happened during the movie.
Oh, that is awesome.
I think it'd be great.
You could reverse that and do something that everyone loves, where it's action-packed, miniseries, 6 episodes long. And then at the end, she wakes up. And she's like, oh, it was all a dream.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh,
all a dream.
I love that. I love it when that happens.
And then the credits are that Nelly song.
Which one?
I drive all night. It was just a dream. And I drove all night.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot. You're such a Nelly head.
But you know I'm a Nelly head.
Yeah, I know you're a Nelly
head. My Band-Aid off just for this, but I'm going to slap it back on the second I get done with this call.
I would prefer if it was 9 to 5. Dolly Parton.
Oh, yeah. Working 9 to 5.
And we'd all be like, we get it. That's so tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
She obviously hates her 9 to 5 job because it sucks.
I think it kind of does work if the shuttle is going off into space and you just hear the dun 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 dun.
It does. And then you're like, well, that was silly and fun. And like you forget any other vibe you felt. That's what 9 to 5 does to your brain. I was going to answer your question and say, I feel like Aliens, I almost love more than Alien. But if I were to be in control of the follow-ups, then I would put her in vastly more realistic and comfortable looking underwear.
Oh my
Because
god!
did anyone notice her underwear?
It's kind of impossible. It's like child-size underwear. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Child size and held together by a string, and so low that when it had like the back of her shot, I was like, so from the front, maybe you were thinking that's like so small and sexy, but from the back, that's very lawn ornament of man. You know, like he's just like with the hose or something like that, and like your grandma puts him out. And it's like with a little bit of crack and the little like dumpy underwear.
Yeah.
Like, this is horrible. She must have been like, I think it was her first movie, but otherwise she could have been like, no.
Oh, 100%. I gave this 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. The half star is because of the underwear in that scene. It's completely, the whole thing's also completely fucking unnecessary. I get that it's supposed to like make her feel more vulnerable. She's already pretty fucking vulnerable in that situation. With that,
I did understand, like, we need to up the ante here. We have to show you what she looks like almost naked. And I was like, I get that. That's very Jaws. We get that. But
very Jaws.
The underwear just didn't make sense and also looked uncomfortable. So I was like, that to me, now I'm thinking about, oh, she's worn this for years now. She was asleep and now she's been working so hard. And that would have been the worst situation. So that's all I could think about. I was like, she's been uncomfortable for so long.
She put that underwear on when she was 13 and then grew up to be like a 28-year-old woman.
Yes.
No changes whatsoever.
Maybe that was all stasis. Maybe she went into stasis when she was much younger. And then they all basically like Tom Hanks and bigged. And they're out of stasis. And it's like, well, now we're adult blue collar workers. So...
Wow. Yeah, that helps me calm down about it. That makes a lot of sense.
It's so fucking weird.
I do kind of like the idea of it in the sense of like, you know, you come home and you've been wearing pants all day and then you just take the pants off and I'm in gym shorts immediately and just now I'm home, you know, daddy's home, daddy's comfortable. And she on this trip is like, okay, we shook off Molly Barbara and daddy's home, pants off, you know, tiny shirt on. And I'm just going to relax and chill with my cat. Even though the first thing she does is freeze the cat. So she really just wants to get to bed. These are her nighttime clothes.
She just starts right away, like her normal nighttime routine.
Yeah.
Which is shocking and like inspiring.
She should have brushed her teeth.
I'm fully with you on this. But if we're going to show that, then we also need to show that before that alien curled up to take a nap, it did its nighttime routine too. And Molly Barber put on little alien pants.
That's so true. Yeah, the parallel needs to be made.
Yeah. They're the same.
They're the same. And that's the lesson.
Yeah.
That's the lesson.
I know that like it's, you know, we get Sigourney Weaver, who's a real babe in her tiny little undies on this trip, but it doesn't nearly excite me as much as her in a jumpsuit like the whole rest of the movie. That outfit, that hair, I'm all about it. I don't know.
Really good.
I just love what is it is a jumpsuit, right? What is that called?
Yeah, I think a jumpsuit.
Right. And let's go. Yeah. We could also say coveralls, I guess.
New cover, new fetish unlocked. Coveralls. You know,
is your fetish including like coveralls with a thermal underneath and another flannel, but the coveralls and the flannel are open down to the same button?
Oh,
because that is also what she's doing the whole time.
Yeah.
Yes, that is exactly it. Big hair,
no bra, just one of those little t-shirts.
I think I just need like a nice, cool blue collar gal who's like working the oil rig and just needs someone to push around on the weekends. You know, I think that's really what I'm aspiring to.
It sounds like you need to go find a women's prison and just kind of skulk around
become
the
a warden
fence.
Start by writing letters.
Yeah.
They'll fall in love with my words.
My interests are goats that are taken off of mountains by golden eagles, salads, coolant, Nelly. I love you. That's a good letter. That's a good, first off, you'll find someone.
Yeah, they get podcasts in prisons, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I think so.
We're real
They
big at
have to.
Folsom.
What else would they be doing?
Reading.
Ugh.
I know. Reading a book. Haven't you even heard of a podcast?
I do.
MK, I did want.
Oh yeah, please.
Your. Sorry. I did want your cat opinions on this, because who is it? Jones or something like that. The cat
Jones.
escapes. The cat is responsible for one guy's death.
Yeah.
And then really like Ripley risks it all to get this cat that I didn't realize she even knew until the end of the movie. And we do watch like a kill. We just see the reaction of the cat's face watching this guy get ripped apart.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that? Is this a good cat? Would you have abandoned him at a certain point? Or are you laying it all on the line to get Jonesy back to the ship?
He certainly does have soulless eyes, so that's something.
Mhm.
But
There's no love
I
there.
wrote down, don't adopt unless you're willing to die for them. So I was like, she honestly has the best vibe about it. She is that scene where she's like going from, I mean, I think there's at least like a handful of scenes where basically maybe the story wouldn't have ended the way it did. And as many people wouldn't have died if she didn't have this cat. That's an option. Also, what corporate company would be like, totally, anyone can bring a cat if they want. Anyone can bring their fur baby. So that does seem insane. But other than that, she did a great job. I think that's motherhood. And I think that's an orange cat. That's great. That's the best. And of course, it would cause chaos. It's orange.
No.
That's just their vibe. But yeah, thanks for the question, Tim.
No problem. Just thought of you. It's a bummer that they have like a one pet policy and just she's the only one who took them up on it. Like, do you think there's like a bearded dragon like in an aquarium, in like a tank somewhere that like Kane is taking care of?
Yeah, it would be a good use of your time to consider what each person would have if they could have something.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think Lambert freak out a bunch would have hermit crabs for sure.
Oh, hermit crabs.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
She's got hermit crab vibe. Ash would have a cow, obviously.
Obviously have a cow.
Yeah. I think
I do not love it, but it produces my favorite product. Classic Ash.
What's Harry Dean Stanton's name? He's the guy that gets killed in the wet chain room.
This is my
Brett.
problem. I think it's Brett.
Oh, that's Brett. Cool. Yeah. His pet's a wet chain.
Oh, it is.
Oh, gross.
Whatever it is, it's wet. Or like a salamander. He's just like water.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm so sick and tired of going for walks and people are dragging their wet chains out in the street. And it's like, dry up your chains. Take some responsibility for it. If I get wet from another goddamn chain again, I'm going to lose my mind. Don't buy a chain unless you're willing to keep it dry. That's where I draw the line.
Don't adopt a chain unless you're going to keep it dry.
It's
Take care of it.
Yes.
It's irresponsible.
Keep it dry.
Yeah. If it's wet, it should be at home.
Yeah. Your wet chains at home.
That's the Mormon way.
But out with the rest of us, dry chains only.
Dry chains.
Mother number 4 taught me how to dry my chain. MK, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a blast.
Thank you. I'm glad we covered so much ground.
We really dove deep into this one.
We really did.
We left no stone unturned on this one. No jar of coolant was left
So
out of
many
the
notes.
escape pod on this one. Do you have anything you want to promote?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do. I have a show, an art show, July 11th at Star Bar.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
That should be it.
This comes out after July.
In the past, I will have
That was
had
a
an
great
art
show. MK, I love that show.
Thank you.
It was
Thank
great.
you. It went really well. Everyone bought stuff, and I made $1 million.
It went really well.
Yeah. Otherwise, you can look at go to my Instagram if you want to know more about the show, because it'll be in there because it's the past,
Hell yeah.
Yep.
and that's MK Doherty Art.
It's a great follow.
I'm only I'm not sure. Thank you.
It's a great follow.
Great follow. Thanks, MK. You're the best.
Yeah.
Thank you. And also, as always, thank you, Molly Barbara.
Thank you,
Thank
Molly
you, Molly
Barbara,
Barbara.
the real hero of this movie. Thank you, listener, for listening today. This has been Nerdy for 30. We'll be back here on Thursday. We'll see you then. Till then, stay nerdy, everybody. Bye.